Hello and welcome to Reimagine Retirement. I'm Jason.
And I'm Roma.
Today we're going to be talking about our recent trip on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth.
For those of you who are wondering, who is Cunard? Who is it a good fit for? What are they about? We're going to tell you our thoughts today, and hopefully you'll have a better idea if this is a ship for you.
First of all, who is Cunard and what are they about?
Cunard is a high-end British-style cruise line. So you will notice everything on the ship is very British themed. They have lots of things around the royalty, lots of their trivia is based around British information, British celebrities, British TV shows. Even their ships are named after various queens.
Yeah, we had the Queen Elizabeth that we sailed on. There's the Queen Mary II, there's the Queen Victoria, and one of their newer ships is the Queen Anne.
Their ships have a very old world glam style about them. There's lots of wood panels, crystal chandeliers, cigar lounges.
They also have live orchestras, stringed groups, jazz performers. One of the things Cunard talks a lot about is the fact that they do have all of this live music on board. They're one of the only ships out there that have as many performers as they do. They actually had 23, I believe, on their cruise. So you would find them playing in the main ballroom area. You'll find that they sometimes split up into smaller groups, so you'll have a string trio playing in one location, and you'd find somebody else playing in the pub and also in the live shows at night. So very, very cool in that they do have something that a lot of other cruise lines don't now.
Something else you will find on all of the Cunard lines is they have British-style pubs. So British-style pubs will include your dark ales. It will include fish and chips and pub pies.
The other thing that's kind of cool on Cunard that's a little old worldy is when you come on board, all of their attendants are dressed in traditional old world garb. So you'll find the white sailor suits, you'll find that with the great hats. You'll also find some of the guys dressed as bellmen with the burgundy colored outfits with the little round hat on. It's very cool to board their ship.
So lots of people ask, what was it like on board? Who's on the boat? What's happening? So who did we find on our ship?
It tends to be many people from the UK, people from the Commonwealth countries. So you'll find British, Scottish, Canadians, Australians, lots of Kiwis. We did see some Americans and some Europeans and a few Asians, but they were definitely not in the majority. So if you're from a Commonwealth country, this is probably a great ship for you.
We found that Cunard caters to an older age demographic in several ways.
One of the big ways was they had ballroom dancing every evening. They also had ballroom lessons available, as well as dance pros to dance with you in the evenings. On our ship, they had 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies who had a lot of experience in ballroom dancing that were available to partner up with people who were either single travelers, or maybe there was a couple where one person didn't dance or couldn't dance because of their age. So they did have people available that came on board simply to be dance pros.
Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind, these are not a ballroom where they've just got a room and you're sitting there and they've got a DJ in the back just playing music. This is live, big band, orchestra, and you are waltzing and tango and foxtrot. I mean, this is old world glam dance floor.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, just the atmosphere of the main ballroom as well was absolutely amazing. We talked a little bit before about the wood paneling and the crystal chandeliers, but when you get there, it really feels like you've stepped back in time into maybe the 20s, 30s, 40s, when sailing was a big thing and the only way to travel. Cunard really embraces that, so I really found that to be a great example of something that Cunard does very, very well.
Something else they do is onboard games and activities tended to be geared for a more mature audience. Mm-hmm. So for example, they have regular trivia And I found for myself, partly because I'm not British, but partly because of my age, I was a little bit hindered and definitely would want to partner up with somebody who was a bit more mature to be able to answer most of these questions.
That's true. There was not a lot of modern trivia.
So why would someone choose Cunard over, say, another line?
Well, first of all, lots of opportunity to listen to live big bands. As I mentioned, this ship had a large contingent of amazing performers.
For those of you who love a gala event, this ship does it very well. They have a lot of galas, and this is an opportunity to pull out those sparkly outfits, those glamorous jewels, those suits, the tuxedos, your dancing shoes. I mean, don't let that stuff get dusty in the closet. This is the ship for that.
Absolutely. We saw some very beautiful evening gowns. We saw men in tuxedos, men in suits and ties. There was even a couple of gentlemen that brought in their Scottish kilts.
So who doesn't love the opportunity to get dolled up or to see your partner wearing their best?
Absolutely.
Va-va-boom!
And gentlemen, if you happen to be one of those people who doesn't have a suit or a tuxedo just laying around in the closet ready to go, don't fear. This boat, you are completely prepared. There is a little fashion outlet in the ship that caters to gentlemen who didn't remember to bring something or didn't have something. You can rent a full tuxedo, you can rent a suit, you can rent all the accessories, the ties, you know, the little squares to go in your pocket, shoes, everything right from top to bottom. They'll look after you amazing, and you will look like a handsome devil.
And it's nice that you can rent them, you don't have to pack them, and you don't have to take them home.
And if you're never ever going to wear it again, why pay to have a whole suit that just sits in your closet? So rentals are a fantastic option.
Something else that we really liked about this ship is that they have plenty of high quality guest speakers.
Yeah, on our boat we had a couple of celebrities, we had some scientists, we had an astronomer, psychologists that was talking about all kinds of interesting stuff. We had some historians that gave us history of the different islands that we went to, kind of information about the demographics of them and kind of how they became the way they are. There was experts in many fields, so don't feel like you are ever going to be bored on this ship. Each day they had 3 different speakers. They let you know the night before what the topics were so you could plan your day. They generally would have one at 10, one at 11, and one at about 12:15. So it's a nice way to actually learn a little bit and be entertained at the same time.
Something that Cunard is very well known for, and that specifically Jason loves, is that they have high tea every day. So tea service would include service in the ballroom with linen napkins and linen tablecloths. You would be served finger sandwiches, scones with clotted cream and jam, tarts and profiteroles, and all sorts of little goodies that are served on silverware that they bring around with their fancy servingware, and they'll bring it to your plate. And it just felt so special, and they have this every day.
Absolutely decadent, and really at the top of my list of reasons that you want to take a Cunard ship. Another thing that was great on this particular vessel, and from what I understand on all of the Cunard ships, if you're taking a longer trip especially, they do have free laundry. Each floor had its own laundrette. Each one had 3 washers and 3 dryers. They were free to use. They also included your laundry soap as well. So it's nice rather than some of the ships where you have to pay and shove everything into a small bag and pay per piece per item, or wait for a special day where they have a fill your whole bag for $30. This one did not have that. We were able to wash our laundry anytime we wanted to, which was great.
So not only was the laundry and the laundry soap provided at no cost, but they also had an iron and an ironing board for each floor, which means if you have brought your best clothes and they didn't travel so well, you have an opportunity to iron them, which we find rather rare on a ship. So you can iron your shirts and make sure you look your best.
The other thing that we really liked about this vessel, and something that you might like as well, was that there were a large variety of classes. There was stuff to fill your day from 7 o'clock in the morning until midnight, if that's something that was appealing to you.
They had exercise classes, so they had chair aerobics, They have yoga and stretch classes. They also have bridge lessons throughout the ship several times a day. So if you are a beginner and you've always wanted to learn bridge, they have a beginner lessons. And if you've learned a little bit but you need to refresh, they have intermediate, and they also have an advanced class. So there's classes all day and there's bridge games running throughout the day. So this is your opportunity to learn or relearn bridge.
If they're one of those people that wants to release your inner artist, they also had watercolor painting. That ran twice per day. So by the end of the cruise, you would end up with 1, 2, maybe 3 amazing pieces for you to take with you to remind you of your holiday.
But how did the watercoloring work? Did you have to bring your own?
No, absolutely.
Yes.
They provided those for you at a small fee so that you would have all of the different colors that you needed, as well as the palettes and things like that you needed to work on. So don't fear, you don't have to pack all that in your luggage. It is available to you on board.
Again, they have ballroom dance lessons, so it could be anything from waltz to foxtrot to cha-cha. I think they even had tap one day. So they have a variety of dance lessons every day, and you can go and refresh on your dance lessons.
We actually partook in that. On one of the first days of our cruise, we jumped on in and took a waltz lesson. We really enjoyed it. I don't know that we actually got any better at waltzing than we were at the beginning of it. The one problem that I will say that we found with the dance lessons is they would have a different lesson pretty much every day. So one day would be waltz, the next day maybe cha-cha or foxtrot or something along those lines. For us newbies, it didn't really work that well because the next time they had a waltz lesson was about a week after the first one, and we of course didn't remember anything from the first lesson that we had.
We were not practicing.
No. So for somebody who wants to actually learn how to waltz, maybe do it before you go on the ship. But if you're a person who might be just a little rusty, you've maybe waltzed in the past but aren't quite as good as you thought you might like to be, they did have it, and it was nice as a refresher.
Something else that they offer on the Cunard ship, on the ship we were on, that is very unique and very British, is they offered fencing lessons. So this is a limited smaller group, again, because for safety and for the equipment. So they do offer traditional fencing. If that's something that you would like to learn or like to relearn, you have to keep in mind you would need long sleeve shirt, long pants, and closed-toed shoes. They do have limited spots, so make sure you sign up early for their fencing class.
Another thing that I really enjoyed especially, were the trivias. Every day they had 3 different trivias going on. One was early in the morning, one mid-afternoon, and one in the evening. One of them during a period of the cruise was a progressive trivia contest, so you would have 5 or 6 or 7 days in a row where you added up your points throughout. Another one that was great, we had pretty much every afternoon that we were at sea, was music trivia. That one I really enjoyed. It was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to meet friends and connect with other people. And then after trivia, it's like, well, hey, high tea is on. Why don't we head down for tea? So it's a great opportunity to meet new people, meet some friends, and connect with others.
You bet. And if you're a cinephile like myself, every day they had daily movies on the large screen. So that was in the Royal Theatre. So every day you could sit and watch a nice little movie in the afternoon. And if you happen to miss it because there was something else that really kept you busy, it is available the next day in your stateroom as well. So great opportunity to watch some movies. And surprisingly, they were actually pretty new movies as well. They were things that were just in the theater within the last month, which was great.
Something to be aware of is that Cunard ships do not cater to the younger family demographic.
They don't have things like water slides or the go-kart tracks or the drop off the side of the ship, that sort of stuff. Cunard isn't really big into those things.
Although they do have a children's and teen zone, so don't think that you can't bring children. It's just not specifically geared for that.
Yeah, there's definitely not as much for kids to do, but we did speak to a couple of people on our cruise that did have young children with them, and they said that one of the actual high points for their kids was they really got some one-on-one attention from the people working in the kids area. On our cruise, there was, at a lot of times, there was only 4 or 5 kids inside the kids area, and there would actually be 4 or 5 staff there at the same time. So it was really like a one-on-one system, which they really enjoyed.
Something else that we noticed is that for the size of the ship, there are less guests than other cruise lines. So we noticed when we were on a port day, we are then able to sort of look up at our ship as we're moving towards it, and we can see how large it is, and we realize that our ship is quite large, but yet our guest capacity is not that big compared to some ships that we've been on. So we found that there are definitely less guests. That's partly because there are less inside cabins.
So the guest to staff ratio on this ship was very low compared to a lot of other ships we've been on. Our ship had approximately 2,000 people on it, and there were about 1,000 staff. So you're looking at about a 2-to-1 ratio on that, which for cruise ships is absolutely fantastic. We really felt like there was a lot of service on this ship, and we really felt well attended to. So if you like a ship where you feel like you're being looked after, Cunard is probably a great ship for you to choose.
Keep in mind, Cunard does not tolerate loud noise after hours, drunken and disorderly behavior, drugs, fighting, especially in the laundry room, and overall carousing. So if you enjoy a party ship and you like to stay out late and have a great time, this might not be your ship.
In fact, we heard a couple of people got removed from our ship in one of the ports, and another couple were actually taken off the ship in another port. So they do take it very, very seriously. So if you're looking at being disruptive, don't go on a Cunard ship.
However, if you enjoy lots of opportunity to dress up,
A refined atmosphere,
plenty of well-planned activities,
traveling without the noise of small children,
this cruise line might very well be for you.
Thank you very much for watching.